So, from what I recall, yours truly, is that in order to have a successful Hifz program where people come and memorize the Quran in a very reasonable time, 2-3 years, you need three main elements. And these three pillars, they all have to be, there. This is after, of course, the adequate uh, planning of that. This is after planning. Planning is a different story. It varies from community to community. So what this is the general aspect after that. And you have to have the endorsement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for it to be successful. This is number one. You have to have that. Otherwise, no matter what type of planning there was or whatever, how much resources, Allah does not endorse it. There's no success in it. There's no long-term reward for it. I mean, he has his own criteria that is between him and his slaves. And of course, yours truly is only servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the next thing is there has to be a teacher who is responsible, a competent teacher who is responsible for the Hifz program. And he himself has to be Hifz credential, Hifz material. He has to have extended amount of Hifz experience, and has to have the competence in dealing with people, not just the student. It's not just teaching, but it's actually the community, the parents, because those are the other two elements, of course, after the teacher, that need to be in order as well. So the prominent teacher has the responsibility to look after the needs of the community in this regard. And he will take the right from them and be in service of the mission of producing more Hifz practitioners, Hifz students, and so on. So he will live up to that, and he will have the support of his students, and he will have the support of the community, and he will have the support of the parents. But those elements there must be present, and it has to be, sincere. If the effort is sincere, with absolute certainty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's reward, fearing his wrath if we do not abide, the teacher, the student, the community have to follow the ustaz on his decision. That's what I'm saying when, he will take from them their oath that they will be obedient to the guidelines Allah Ta'ala prescribed through him, the teacher, the ustaz, the administrator, whoever that is. And he will do his job, and he will do it for the reward of Allah. He will do it for the akhirah. He will do it for that day that is promised to us, but he will not do it for their reward. He will not do it for any type of compensation from the community or from the student or from the parent. His job is to teach and to be a leader and a pioneer in producing results on a continuous basis. This number is his responsibility at the end of the day to see to it that he brings together the elements, and he grows on the basis of the Quran, that in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave guidance of, and the example of the wisdom in it, which he refers to also as the sunnah. But it is needed for sure. I mean, this is something that everyone can agree on this point, the education, not just, for today, but going forward, for tomorrow. We pray that Allah Ta'ala make this big trees, orchards in the Jannah for us, inshallah. Whatever candies, whatever snacks, we even given out. But definitely, if you get this many, and of course, everything that we mentioned before in terms of reforming and giving the motivation and creating the ingenuity of steadfastness, sincerity, humility, hard working, many will get the picture. I mean, you see your child comes to the masjid and he knows or she knows how to behave is very, very critical. Okay, so this boy is 11 years old and he's playing in the front rank of the salah. I mean, the entire rank, that's like questionable. I don't know. I'm sure you will find a ruling to state that entire rank, Allah does not look at it. And the imam also, this is not a joke. This is not a game. How often do the front ranks have kids who are playing and giggling and laughing and no one does or says anything about it, including an administrator, including the one who is leading the salah, including the one who is standing on the right and the ones who are standing on the left? I mean, if at some point, a stop has to be put to it. Imagine if, and there is actually, I'm not going to emphasize the if simply because of the fact that the hadith, the prophecy states clearly in its history that Allah does not look at a rank that is cricket. How about the one that is being played in? The one that is being toyed around in and made fun of. This is like a mock. This is mockery to the salah. And then those who are elderly, of all ages, elderly, witness it and say nothing and do nothing. So where's the Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar where they're praying? Just where they're praying. Where's the Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahy anil Munkar? And you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Seriously? But it's a simple matter. It's a simple matter. They want their children to learn. They're bringing them to the masjid where they should be bringing them to. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that the people themselves are not in a position. You just can't expect the building to do it. You cannot expect the building to do it. Can you? The people who are inside the building. If there was just equipment inside of the hospital, there was no staff whatsoever, and you needed a kidney transplant, would you be able to get it done in that hospital? And if so, I'd love to know how. They got robots operating maybe. This is a big mission, huge mission, but it has to be done. I'm sorry. It has to be done. How in the world can we believe in Allah with absolute certainty, knowing that He gave us a message with everything that we need during this journey, which we can wake up from at any moment on the other side of the ground. And we neglect the Quran, which He gave us, and the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We did that along with what Allah said as in our examples. And the kids, as they get, numerous, they are playing with the deen just as they're playing in the salah. Umar bin al-Khattab said the one who retained the salah is like the retained, everything becomes simple for them to retain, but the one who plays in it, obviously, they're playing with everything else in the deen. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد والله المستعان على ما تصفون. Jay the people. And this is me too. Allahu Akbar. But it's needed, and like I said, it's right for that place. So that's my idea, and I would recommend sponsorship. So that's my proposal. I would and take a good look at because alhamdulillah, it's easy. It's very easy. You happen to have someone yesterday also who had some family members. He wanted to learn the Quran. Okay? And 2 questions I had for him was, how old are they, to make sure he's not talking about, some 3-month-old. Are you there? Okay. So, the point of the matter is that the first question was, how old are they? And the second question, do they want to learn? Do your kids really want to learn the Quran? They have to want it, right? Alhamdulillah. But if they really love it and they want it, yes, no problem. We can get them in there. This is immediate. And he said, when? I told him today, and he did not show up. But as you know, you've been a witness to it. That program, we can definitely say in easy 25 to 40 students. And we have the absolute authentic model of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to give exactly what is needed. Allahu Akbar. Right, coalition force. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I'm gonna go ahead and get going. I got this Omar series, and then inshallah.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuhu.